In the headlines, traditional worshippers resort to oath-taking to stop vote buying ahead of governorship election in Osun State. UK court remand Ekweremadu and his wife on alleged organ harvesting charges adjourns trial till August 4th. Over 940 intending pilgrims stranded in Kano, few hours to Arafat. And away from Nigeria, Boris Johnson resigns as British Prime Minister. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Beginning with political matters, Traditional Religion Worshippers Association in Osun State, southwest Nigeria, said it may resort to administering oaths to its members to discourage them from selling their franchise as the state governorship election remains a few days away. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports that the decision is coming hours after President Muhammadu Buhari presented APC flag to their party's governorship candidate in the coming election. The report.
The decision of the Traditional Worshippers Association is contained in a statement signed by its president, Oluseyi Atanda, who says it would have been a historic fiat if such oath could be administered on all inhabitants of Osun State to stop the ugly trend of vote buying. While challenging the leadership of both Christianity and Islam in Osun to also prevail on their members not to sell their votes during the poll, the religious group instructed its members not to sell or buy votes, as it will amount to mortgaging their conscience. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday presented flag of the All Progressives Congress (APC) to the party's governorship flag bearer in the state, Adeboye Oyetola, with a hope to make himself available at the party's campaign grand finale to cheer it to victory.
I believe by any standard I've done very well to deserve a second term.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed July 16th for the Osun State governorship election. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has been asked to stop the All Progressives Congress from replacing Kabiru Masari as the running mate to the party's presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu. Shortly after Tinubu emerged as the APC flag bearer, the party submitted Masari's name to the Independent National Electoral Commission as the vice presidential candidate for the meantime. However, two chieftains of the party and delegates, Zakari Maigari and Zubainatu Muhammad, approached the court to stop INEC from accepting requests for a change of vice presidential candidate from APC. The plaintiffs joined APC, INEC, Tinubu and Masari as defendants in the suit dated July 4, 2022. They asked the court to determine whether it was legally permissible for Masari to withdraw as the vice presidential candidate of the APC so as to be substituted or replaced with another person by the party with regards to the combined effect of sections 142 subsection 1, 21 subsection 1, 29 subsection 1 rather, 31 and 33 of the Electoral Act. The trial of Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice has been adjourned till August 4th, 2022. The couple were arraigned at Westminster Magistrate Court over alleged organ harvesting on Thursday. Earlier, counsel for Ekweremadu denied any form of exploitation in the case. The lawyers of the defendants argued that the victim lied about his age, but the prosecution insisted that he is a minor. The court then ruled that the victim is not a minor. The defendants' lawyers have informed the court that a bail application will be submitted before the next court date, August 4th. The Attorney General has given consent to take the case to the Central Criminal Court in London, which means that the case won't be treated by the Magistrate Court. A high-powered Nigerian delegation was in court for the trial of the former Deputy Senate President. Still talking litigation, a federal high court in Abuja has granted permission to former Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha to travel to the United Kingdom for medical attention. Justice Nyang Eko Wednesday directed the registrar of the court to release the traveling passport of the former governor following an application argued by Okorocha's counsel, Ola Olanipekun. The lawyer argued that Okorocha, who is also the senator representing Imo West, will not abuse the order and will return to the country for his trial. Although the counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Chile Okoroma, initially objected to the application, he later agreed. The judge ordered Okorocha to return the passport to the court's registrar not later than 3 days after his arrival in the country. Okorocha was in May arraigned on 17-count charge of 2.9 billion naira fraud. And now to security matters. The Islamic State West Africa province has claimed responsibility for the attack on Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center, Abuja, in which over 600 inmates, including Boko Haram commanders, were released. The group claimed the attack in a 30-second viral video which showed the gunmen setting ablaze vehicles parked in the facility. The Kuje attack comes after a convoy of cars carrying the advanced team of security guards, protocol and media officers ahead of the president's trip to Daura for Salah came under a terrorist attack. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has said it will shut down the domestic airport runway at Murtala Mohammed International Airport for 90 days to install airfield ground lighting system. A statement on Wednesday by Acting General Manager, Corporate Affairs, FAN, Faithful Hope Ibavize, indicates that as part of efforts aimed at improving safety and efficiency of flight operations at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, FAN had concluded arrangements to complete the installation of Cat 3 airfield ground lighting system on runway 18L36R. The project, she said, will commence effectively on Friday, July 8, 2022, and is expected to last for 90 days.
For all your future travel needs, including checking in for a flight and managing your Sky Miles account. Here in Lagos, we will be towed to the gate, so we do ask you please.
Now, tributes continue to pour in following the demise of Secretary General of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo, who died Tuesday night in Abuja at the age of 63. President Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement by his spokesman, Femi Adesina, said Barkindo's undeniable brilliance and legacies as a dedicated public servant will remain a reference point in the oil and gas industry, international development, and the environment sector. Senate President Ahmad Lawan described Barkindo's leadership of the global oil cartel as exemplary, noting that the deceased worked assiduously to build cooperation between OPEC and non-OPEC countries to save the energy market at a time of a global crisis. Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, in a statement by his media aide, described the 6 years Barkindo spent at OPEC as glorious, praying Almighty Allah grant him paradise, adding that Adamawa has lost its proud son. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, gloomy pictures ahead of Eid al-Kabir. Details and more shortly. Join us again.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Daily, we bring you updates around politics.
People like you who are very young, you have no future. Anybody now who is 30 years, if what is happening to them continues, by the time you are 60, you will have no country.
The DPO of a particular unit does not have to wait until the commissioner tells him what to do within his jurisdiction.
We have political parties on the ground. Some of them have been there for years. But they themselves, in their own sober moments, they know that this country is not the one they're expecting to run.
Policy and governance.
Are you saying the NBS is lying?
I'm saying to you very clearly that the NBS has a serious problem with accurate data till today.
The 5th Assembly, as well as the 7th Assembly, their own attempts were unproductive.
Emergence of the Taliban has simply emboldened terror groups globally.
There is a lot of attention with regards to security developments in Nigeria.
On Daily Politics, we interrogate issues, holding the actors to account, bearing in mind all the sides.
We heard that in some places now, people have to go and pay tax, not to the local government, not to the state, but to criminals.
Nobody can come to your house and kidnap you without information.
If this country is bleeding, it is bleeding because we have failed to educate our young.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Traditional worshippers resort to oath-taking to stop vote buying ahead of the governorship election in Osun State. UK court remand Ekwere Madu and wife on alleged organ harvesting charges, adjourns trial till August 4th. In other news, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has warned independent monitors of the National Social Investment Program in Niger State against sharp practices in the course of monitoring and evaluating the beneficiaries of the program. The minister gave the warning at the onboarding of the 60 independent monitors and evaluators in the state. Represented by the Special Assistant Monitoring and Evaluation, Balikisu Dauda Damisa, Farouk said that the ministry is working with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and other security agencies to ensure that any monitor found wanting in the course of monitoring and evaluating the beneficiaries is prosecuted. The Niger State focal person, Barrister Amina Gwar, said a lot of successes were recorded in the last batches of beneficiaries through effective monitoring and evaluation.
And DSS, and they are on the field. Whoever is found wanting, cutting corner or involved in sharp practices will be dealt with accordingly. There is no room for sharp practices. Our eyes are everywhere. We have our eyes everywhere.
This state wouldn't have come into Niger State. And the secret behind my success is the support I receive from the state government. For example, my governor does not really interfere in the implementation process of this program. He has given me a free hand, and I'm sure it will not be proper for me to betray him than to do my, so I have to do my best.
In a similar vein, persons with disabilities and the aged were among vulnerable citizens who received cash from the federal government on Tuesday in Osun State. Trust TV's Hamid Oegbade reports that 5,000 beneficiaries from state received 20,000 naira each. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, said that the initiative is part of moves to alleviate poverty in the state. Farouk, who was represented by Nasr Sani Gwasu, said the federal government is committed to addressing the plight of the poor and vulnerable in the country. The minister said 15,908 households in the state are receiving monthly cash transfer of 5,000 naira under the federal government's National Social Investment Program. The state governor, Adeboyega Oyetola, while speaking at the event, advised beneficiaries to make judicious use of the money. Now, Executive Secretary, Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Muhammad Abba Dambata, says over 940 intending pilgrims may miss 2022 Hajj exercise from Kano State due to lack of flights. Dambata, who disclosed this to newsmen, said that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has failed to honor a rescue mission arrangement for the past 2 days. He said early on Thursday, Asman aircraft with 400 passengers capacity departed Kano with only 250 intending pilgrims, leaving on ground over 940 pilgrims with the state officials. We'll now take a short break. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Now, with less than 72 hours to this year's Eid al-Kabir, prices of vegetables and some essential commodities in Kano have been reduced, but the people's purchasing power still cannot match the reduced prices. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin, who went round some markets across the state, reports that government's inability to pay workers' salary may have worsened the situation. The report.
Yankaba is one of the largest vegetable markets within Kano metropolis. The place is always booming, especially during a period like this. Tomato, onions and other vegetables never cease from here. Few months back, a basket of tomato is sold at between 25 to 35,000 naira, while a bag of onions is at between 30 to 45,000 naira. Now the price has significantly reduced, but the purchasing power of the people is poor at the moment. People do not have money. Now that it's Salah period, they are supposed to have money to buy the things they needed. Like me, I bought these tomatoes at almost 12,000 naira. But if you give me 11,000 naira, I will collect because there are no buyers. Back at the popular Kantinkwari textile market, things are somehow dry. Although women have taken over shopping here, but they say clothes are very expensive this year.
Everything is expensive. I came to buy veil and shoe, but I can no longer afford it. It's too expensive. I have to go back with my money because everything is expensive.
According to some Kano residents, state government inability to pay workers' salary is largely responsible for the poor purchasing power of the people. There is no money. Traders among us cannot sell since we don't have money to buy. I think government need to make things easier for people. With the high cost of sacrificial animals and the rising prices of food items and other essential commodities, things appeared bleak for ordinary people this year. And there are even concerns that these things could get worse in the next coming days unless something is done to ease the suffering of the poor masses. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, the rainy season is believed to fuel the spread of contagious diseases ranging from malaria, cold, flu, cholera, diarrhea, and hepatitis, among others. These common diseases, which affect mostly children due to their weak immunity, experts say can be prevented by adopting some safety measures. Aisha Salihu has more.
The rainy season, despite its soothing effect, comes with flooding, environmental pollution, distortion of daily activities due to the heavy downpours, and a number of diseases.
Once the rainy season starts, it disrupts the flow of water, natural flow of water, so there is overflooding. And that overflooding carries some bacteria and infection from infective sources and contaminates drinking sources of water, like the sources of water for domestic use. So that's the connection, really. So when you have sewage disposal areas being flooded with water, and this water is carried on to areas where you have water for domestic use, that contaminates the sources. So patients with higher rates of diarrhea, in fact cholera is one problem that you expect to be higher in the rainy season. Things like diarrheal diseases with typhoid infection, salmonella, and the rest of them are things that you expect.
These diseases, however, are said to be preventable if certain precautionary measures are taken.
On proper drainage will also prevent that, we ensure that we avoid water puddles accumulating indiscriminately in our environment and serving as such as sites for multiplication of the mosquito, which is the major agent of transmission, is the only agent for transmission of malaria. So we need to be able to have proper drainages, excellent infrastructure, excellent sewage disposal, a change in attitude and practices when it comes to the disposal of feces and sewage-related waste.
He enjoined public health facilities to adopt better approaches to handling the health needs of people in order to curtail the spread of diseases associated with the rainy season. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission will henceforth sanction distribution companies and other offenders who fail to comply with the extant rules and regulations in the electricity industry. Babatunde Irukera, the Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission, made this known at the Electricity Consumer Complaint Resolution Platform organized by FCCPC on Wednesday in Nasarawa State. Irukera, who was represented by Adamu Abdullahi, Executive Commissioner, Operations of the Commission, said that the non-compliance of DISCOs with the regulations of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission is a bane in the industry. He said that the electricity-related issues ranging from poor service delivery in the industry are the highest category of consumer complaints received by the Commission. Away from Nigeria, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has resigned as Conservative Party leader after losing the support of his ministers and members of parliament. The embattled leader has faced a growing rebellion within his party over a series of scandals. A Conservative leadership contest will take place this summer, and a new Prime Minister will be in place in time for the party conference in October. In the meantime, Johnson will continue as Prime Minister. He had vowed to keep going following a wave of resignations from the government over his leadership, but was urged to stand down by senior members of his cabinet, including newly appointed Chancellor Nadim Zahawi. And in sports news, home representation in the Genesis Scottish Open has been reduced to 8 players after Richie Ramsey withdrew before teeing off in the first round at the Renaissance Club in Edinburgh. An illness was cited for the Edinburgh-based Aberdonian pulling out of his home open, which will have been made all the more disappointing due to his attachment to the host venue for the $8 million Rolex Series event. Ramsey has played in 14 Scottish Opens in total, including the last 12, and was the inaugural winner of the Jock McVicar Memorial Award as the leading Scot last year. And that's a wrap on Trust News Update. Watch more via all our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.